This is the Between Ghosts of El Paso Part 8. Let's do a bit of recapping. So right now you have two active threats, the Hunt for Rebel Gold and Ghost Be Gone. Ghost Be Gone, you don't have too many clues on yet. You've got a few though on the Hunt for Rebel Gold, so that's all good. The Hunt for Rebel Gold, we still have to do the threshold question, which is where is the missing gold? So that's the thing that has to happen there. And then for Ghost Be Gone, you've got three different possibilities in terms of how to pursue that one. Taking a look at the hunters, Slade's in kind of burdened with conditions, but everyone else seems to be doing kind of okay as far as that goes. Does anyone have any questions before we begin? Okay, then let's go to the day phase.
Oh, do we need to do, we didn't rack up XP and things at the end of last session.
Right. Yeah, we didn't do that.
Oh, what phase did we end on? Do you remember? Do we like not end?
We didn't do the dawn phase.
We didn't do the dawn.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. Well, let's do that then. Let's go to the dawn. Yeah, I guess not, because we didn't do the rewards for the corset, did we?
Yeah, I think we were just short on time last time.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll get the rewards ready now then. All right. Right. Where's the chat? I feel so out of sorts right now. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I just released a major game into the world. That's why.
Busy.
Yeah, that's why. But there we go. All right, let's do rewards since you did resolve the corset. I'm going to read this for people who are watching the video. You can take the corset as a reward if you were able to bring it under control, but I don't think you did. You let it go, and so that one's not available. However, Lady Antonia can become a recurring side character. You get one extra clue on the information move when you seek her counsel, and that's true of everybody in the Vigilance Committee. A beautiful navy blue gown with black stockings, add that to your personal quarters. A collection of powders and rouges, or a memento from the investigation. Who wants what?
I would like to have Lady Antonia become a recurring side character. I love her. She's great.
You can choose that, and I will add that to the reference as well.
I will take a memento and I'll have Sister Mary define it. Seeing as she and I spent memorable time together in the saloon, in the casino.
I think you have a handful of dance tokens. Sadly, the place is burned down, so you can't use them there.
That's what it's saying. It's like you get a bunch of Chuck E. Cheese tokens and they close the Chuck E. Cheese. We've got makeup, dress, and mementos. One more memento.
I'll take the makeup.
Is yours?
I'll do a memento and have Slade Ben define it.
I think you have a slightly charred stack of signed art from the dancers.
Fantastic. Let's do dawn questions. Did you all answer a capital Q question last time?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You did resolve a threat, so everyone's getting those first two. And then let's do echoes in the night, if you can recall. Travis, did you do an echo in the night?
I don't think so. Not that I can recall. I'm trying to recall what the unseen was.
I don't remember. It was
It was the Ghost Begone one.
Ghost Be Gone Unseen.
oh, the Ghost Being Unseen.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Let's go
Oh,
over
yep.
to Sister Mary. Did you get one? If you can recall,
I think
we're all just gonna forget.
I think we talked about burning down the old barn in the Ghost Be Gone thing, and that was clearly
Okay, yeah,
because I knew we were going to burn down the Red
That's
Rock.
right. That's right. Very
So,
good. Slade
I don't think so.
and Wyatt.
I used a shotgun to get people out of the
Oh,
Red
yeah.
Rock,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
described a shotgun hole in the Ghost.
Fabulous. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. Let's go to the individual questions now. Travis, did you get in a fight with Wyatt?
No, I think we actually had a pretty amicable conversation at the beginning of the session. So yeah, not a fight.
Did you protect Wyatt without them knowing about it?
I
You
feel
were
like
dealing
I-
with the Ghost Be Gone threat,
Yeah.
and also kind of dealing with the gold, and you like sent people out.
Yep.
Why
If you
did
did it, it was
Yeah, I-
definitely without me
protected?
knowing it. I don't.
Yeah,
if you
no,
did it, it was
'cause
without me knowing
you-
it, because I was trying to protect you. But I
And
might have.
explicitly sent me to, or I told you that I thought I should go deal with the Ghost Begone while you were dealing with the corset. So
Yeah,
it definitely wasn't
I
without
was-
your knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a whole conversation about like me trying to keep you out of danger.
Yes.
But I might have actually put you in danger and not realized it. And I'm not sure if you would interpret it that way.
Yeah, I put the entire town in danger, I think, by sending them off to the ghost ship.
All
Yeah, I
right.
don't think I got any of those
Okay.
experiences. So
I'm putting it in your hands, so since I can't remember. So let's go to Sister Mary. Did you try to convince someone to do the right thing?
I have in my notes that I did, but now I can't remember what it was. I was talking to some people in the alley behind. I think it was our last session. I was talking to some people in the alley behind the old Methodist church.
I think that's right. Yeah. This is
And there
riveting
was-
viewing for people.
Yeah, there was somebody.
Never do a dawn phase after you've had a week
No.
break. Dude,
So-
it's the worst.
This is good TV right here.
Yeah. Note for self: always
Mhm.
do the dawn phase if it's coming up. Okay.
Yeah, I think I did. Well, my notes say I did.
All right, you can have it.
I'm just gonna
Did
do
you
it.
speak on matters of theology with anyone who would listen?
I'm going to assume I did because that's all I do.
You do that a lot. Slade, did you express a clear preference for night over day?
Not that I recall.
And did you take time to puzzle over the human condition?
Yes, about the Red Rock owners valuing the money more than people.
Indeed. And Wyatt, did you live up to the ideal of doing justice?
I think I did, because I put everything on the line to save the people over like something, over like making more money. Or
Yeah. Okay, I'm into it. Did you deliver a cold monologue about the cruelty of justice?
I'm pretty sure I did to the owner of the Red Rock, like before I was shutting it down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was really good actually. Yeah, great. I didn't realize you were aiming for a dawn question there, but it's in hindsight, it was really good. Fabulous. Let's keep going. You can mark new dawn questions if you wish. Let's do playbook and custom moves. I think that's just Travis checking in about that darn kid or that rotten kid. Do you feel like you did what you were supposed to do, Travis?
I think so. I probably took it a little further than
Yeah.
than Wyatt
You
was
did what I
expecting.
told you to do, as only the kid could.
The scope
Right,
scope is not part of the task, so it just says you have
stay
to try.
out of. Yeah, I asked you to go do that Ghost Be Gone thing to stay out of danger, and well, you stayed out of danger by putting the entire town in danger.
Indeed. Okay, great. Love all that. And now Janus mask prompts. Do we have any open Janus mask?
Yes, I have to narrate a flashback to the horrors of the Battle of how do I pronounce that?
Antietam. It's the
Antietam.
bloodiest war. It's the bloodiest battle in American history.
Cool.
Incredibly bloody. Yeah.
Okay. again, I do want to preface this by saying that I don't know anything about American history. I have in my notes that the soldiers wearing blue were the North people, and the soldiers wearing gray were the South people, right? Cool.
That's basically the whole part. That's the whole thing, essentially.
Okay.
You got
Okay.
it.
I think the camera sort of goes over a field where there's soldiers prepping for, you know, it's the war front, prepping for the onslaught that is about to happen. And these are all young men of various states of fear. Some of them are looking like they're thirsty for battle. Some of them are weeping in terror. And there is a priest riding along the front, blessing these men, giving them the there's a word for it. Where you
Last rites.
Yeah, it's sort of like last rites, but where you preemptively do it and forgive them for any atrocities they're about to commit. It's sort of an
Like an
atonement.
absolution or something.
Yeah, like there's a type of absolution. I wish I could remember what it's called. And Sister Mary is walking along the front, holding the hands of people who are looking for blessings. And she knows that most of these men aren't going to survive. They're not going to survive the day, let alone, you know, this war. And it is weighing on her a bit that she's here to bless this violence. But it is important, and she believes they are in the right. So sending these men off to their deaths, well, I suppose that's just war.
Very nice. Thank you. Any more, Janice Mask?
I owed you one as well. So I'm supposed to be narrating a flashback to the moment you accepted the Lady in Gold's offer. So I think what we see is Travis, not a lot younger than he is now, but this was before Wyatt had returned from his wild outlaw days. And in fact, we see the local sheriff ride up to the house. And in his accompanying him are two folks dressed in smart but plain clothes, not in uniforms. One man and one woman. And Wyatt comes out, Travis comes out to greet them or see what they want. And the sheriff says, "We're looking for your brother. You have any word of him, Travis?" And Travis immediately gets on the defensive. That, no, I ain't heard from Wyatt for months. You know that. Don't come around here harassing me when you know he ain't been here. Who are these two folks with you anyhow? Well, these two here are Pinkerton detectives on your brother's trail. And Travis kind of turns and spits to the side and says, mutters something under his breath to the effect that, you know, how come his brother's getting all this attention, so famous? And as they're turning to leave, the female Pinkerton actually turns back toward Travis and approaches him. And she's wearing a long, like a duster coat. But she lets that kind of fall open, and You can see that there's this kind of radiantly shining golden waistcoat underneath, or vest, I guess, in American parlance. And she just approaches to him and says in a very soft voice, "You know, if fame is what you want, then I have the means to provide it to you." And we just cut on Travis kind of looking up and meeting her eye.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Any more Janus Mask? Okay, then with that said, let's introduce the next threat. I'm going to just clip the text for you because I don't have it pasted in yet. You can follow along here. Our new threat is called the Blue Boy. Wellington, the butler of Mrs. Alma Stackpole, the owner of the El Paso Tin Smelting and Mining Company, comes to the Vigilance Committee with an interesting story. His employer, famously obsessed with Thomas Gainsborough's The Blue Boy, believes she is being regularly visited by the ghost of the Blue Boy himself. In fact, Wellington has seen the ghostly boy with his own eyes, and while he is happy for his employer's spectrally induced joy, he is concerned because she has been spending huge sums of money buying the ghost gifts and making sure it lives in the luxury and comfort it was accustomed to in life. Who has the highest reason? Taking a look at the sheet, it looks like it is a three-way tie. I'm going to pose to Wyatt. Wyatt, a detail in Wellington's story makes you think the Blue Boy haunting is a hoax designed to separate Alma from her money. What is it?
There's lots of strange people that the Blue Boy wishes to come and visit the house.
Very good. A lot of like weird locals with criminal records. Yeah, good. Okay, I love that.
The Blue Boy desires audiences with.
I will direct the next question to Slade. A detail in Wellington's story makes you think it might be a genuine haunting. What is it?
This all began very close to the beginning of the season of the Wounded Knight, but they since then Mrs. Stackpole has known things about other people in town that she shouldn't possibly know.
Alma Stackpole is a financial pillar of El Paso. Many people in this region depend on her for their livelihood. And so the Vigilance Committee has agreed to look into the matter. You have an opening question of, is the Blue Boy ghost real or is it a hoax? And that unlocks the next question. It is a complexity 4. And I'd like to take just a quick, 5-minute break. We'll come back and do a somewhat abbreviated day phase. All right, it's the day phase. We have introduced a brand new threat, 3 active threats. Let's go around the table and find out what everyone is interested in doing. Sister Mary.
I was hoping you wouldn't pick me first, but that
I can
is...
move on. I can go to somebody else. It's fine.
I think I'm just going to try and do some investigating for the Rebel Gold threat because we don't have a lot of...
Do you want some leads on that?
Yes, please.
I would say that you've all done a fair good job looking at the actual thing that happened in town, especially with Slade's ability to replay that whole like scene. Other things that you might look into are, well, I don't think anybody actually went into the actual church. I think we just kind of like hung around the church. We also never really like resolved what's underneath the church as well. Additionally, there is the rurales are here in town. You also know where the Skagses are hiding out in the old Aztec cave. And then there's the Memphis, which during the day is safe. So
Yeah, maybe I'll go down to the Memphis and see
yeah,
what
it's getting
happened
closer,
to all
but
of
it is
those
safe.
people.
Yeah. Trip to the Memphis sounds fun. Wyatt?
I think I want to debrief Travis on what he thinks of the Ghost Be Gone guy, and then probably deal with that threat today. Try and learn more about it.
Travis, once you're done getting debriefed, what are you going to do? Well, maybe it depends on what Wyatt tells you. I don't know. But
yeah, unless Wyatt tells me otherwise, I think I'll go with Sister Mary, because after all, I sent that huge crowd of people down there, so I probably feel some responsibility.
yeah, we don't know how that resolved yet. So yeah.
I don't think Travis did it because he just got goaded into it almost. So, you know.
Yeah. Slade, what are you going to do today?
I would love to rid myself of a condition or two, but also after stating the Rebel Gold threat was a very clear threat to the town, I think he'll have to follow through on that.
So you're going to Memphis also?
Yeah.
Okay. Trip to the Memphis. Let's have the scene with Wyatt and Travis then. Go ahead and set it up, Wyatt.
Yeah, I think we're in the marshal office, and I think I'm just kind of sitting at the desk with my feet up, kind of waiting for Travis to come in, and whenever he arrives, I'll kind of be like, so I heard you did what I asked and checked out that fella selling the goo in the jars. What'd you learn?
Well, yeah, about that, Wyatt. I think I may have. I let him rile me up a little, and I challenged him to go see if he could get rid of the ghost of that there Confederate boat. And he took off with a whole heap of folks heading down toward the river. And when I think on it now, I think maybe them folks are on their way to get into a whole mess of trouble.
You sent them to deal directly with a ghost ship that shoots cannons.
I didn't send them. What? I didn't think he'd call my bluff.
Well, that was a mighty foolish gamble. The entire town. How many people went? Where's the other deputy? Did he go?
And Travis is just kind of looking sheepish because he doesn't know the answers to any of these questions.
Wainwright's a chicken-hearted man. Unless he believes in this Ghost Be Gone business, there's not a chance he would have gone. Look, you're going to have to saddle up and ride out and catch up in them, turn them back, because this is a foolish, foolish errand. Since they did call your bluff, they might get gunned down if they try and protect themselves with whatever nonsense he's got in jars.
Maybe I'll gather up Mr. Slade and Sister Mary, and we can try and beat them to the boat.
You do what you got to do. I might have to deal with this fella directly, or should I go to the boat with you, see it's done right?
I'm concerned that they might have gone to the boat last night. Like they might have marched there, and it might be too late. So
it might have, but we probably don't know.
Yeah, you don't know yet, but yeah.
Well, I think he went with them, Wyatt. So I
Oh, did he?
poked
I thought
around.
he stayed back.
Uh,
I don't
uh,
remember.
the charlatan did not go. he sent them with he pointedly stayed and just gave them bottles of Ghost Gone. So I don't know if there's anybody else we were talking about staying back, but that's what I thought you were talking about.
Well, we're bringing him with us. Come on, let's go find that fool.
So you're gonna go find Dr. Clarkson.
I'm gonna try and find him and
yeah.
bring him out to all those people. And yeah.
Let's pick up with Slade and Sister Mary then. Maybe get a vulnerable move fired off, because Slade wants to clear some conditions. So, who wants to do a vice? Maybe this is just while you're kind of prepping to go out there.
Might be hard to do chess on the go. We don't have a travel set yet.
I can't do my vice
Oh, right.
just because of my
Oh, you're bound.
pious. Yeah. I'm too pious for wrath.
I guess how familiar with chess is Sister Mary?
I think probably familiar enough. She probably would have played it back in her old life.
I think maybe then, yeah, Slade will, if they're waiting for Travis, or are they on their way? What's our setup here?
It sounds kind of like Travis, like it sounds like the three of you were going to go, but Wyatt has waylaid Travis. So if the two of you want to go without Travis, I think that's probably fine, and they can catch up later.
Yeah, I suppose maybe Sister Mary will show up at your place.
He'll open the door, and he's dressed pretty much exactly as he was the night before, still a little smoky and looking more than a little haggard, I think, and just tilt his head and say, "Are we meeting here?"
And a good morning to you too, Mr. Slade. I suppose that, well, I'm sure Mr. Walker is doing some sort of deputy stuff for the marshal. We could probably wait for a little while, see if he makes his way here. If not, well, don't want to wait too long. May I come in?
Yes. Do you play chess?
Chess with the little king and the castles.
Yes, chess.
Huh. Well, I haven't in quite some time. Are you inviting me to a game?
I am. I seek distraction.
Well, I suppose I could be that distraction. Let's play. You may have to remind me of the rules. I think she does set up the board properly. She does know what she's doing.
And he'll watch and say, "You pretend to be more foolish than you are. Why?"
I really can't understand what you're meaning here. I am just who I am. You, however, and I think she's going to make the first move on the chessboard. Just going to move out one of the pawns up. I've heard some interesting things about you, Mr. Slade, from a fellow named, what's his name, Edward?
Edward
Mr.
Reynolds.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
Edward Reynolds,
Yeah.
yes. From Mr. Reynolds. Well, he suggests that you're not what you appear to be.
And what do you think of that suggestion?
I've known you a long time, Mr. Slade, as long as I've been here. And it has come to my attention that you are Well, in the last little while, you've been different. Tell me, are you feeling okay?
No, sister.
Would you
I
like
feel
to confess?
I do not believe that would accomplish what you think it will. Nor do I believe you would appreciate my confession.
Now, Mr. Slade, I can assure you that I have heard it all, I've seen it all, and there really is no feeling quite like the lightness of the soul after confession. When you receive those blessings, well, it might do you some good. You have a certain darkness about you these days.
What was the name of the woman who killed herself on Slade? Can't remember.
Oh, was it Brandy Carson?
No,
No,
it was
Travis
the
shot her.
She tried to, but you saved her.
Yeah.
Annette Shields, I think.
Oh, it was Annette Shields. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Slade will make a couple of moves in silence before saying, "It is because of me that Annette Shields is dead."
Annette Shields. Huh. And you feel responsible for her death?
No,
But you say it's because of you that she's dead. Did you
I
kill her?
I could not save her.
I think Sister Mary makes a move on the board that sacrifices one of her pawns. Just like in chess, Mr. Slade, you can't save everyone.
I like Slade doing a little bit of a letter of the law instead of spirit of the law on that one. That's a good, I like that cut of you claiming that piece. Do we think that a condition got cleared here, either of you?
I can't clear my condition.
Oh, yours are, yeah, yours are permanent for now. Slade?
Perhaps the lightning of his soul has removed the corset's
I think that's
hold on
probably
him.
fair. Yeah, yeah, it was already probably on the way out anyway. So you get the bonus though, Slade. What do you want?
I would like to ask Sister Mary about Slade's past.
You're inviting me to ask you a question, or do you want me to?
I'm inviting you to answer a question.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, interesting. That's not the rule, but I'll take it.
I would like to know what was Slade to the town before he was inevitable?
Remind me, Slade has like a ranch or something, right?
Yep, rancher was his body's career.
I think that Mr. Slade, the original, Mr. Slade Prime, he was a rancher, but he was also really well known for he could calm down horses. You know, he was really good with the horses, even the ones that were really fickle or finicky or downright mean. Mr. Slade was always really good with them, and he could basically shoe any horse that came across his way, regardless of how irritable the horse would be about it.
I love it. Brothers Walker, when you are heading out to go find Dr. Clarkson, you are stopped actually by one of your other deputies, Marshall. What's the other one's name? Lloyd something?
Lloyd Miller is the out-of-towner, and
Yeah.
Dudley Wainwright is the long-standing deputy.
Lloyd comes up to you and he says, Marshall, we got a bit of a problem.
Well, spit it out, man.
It's Deputy Wainwright. He's hiding out by the river.
What on earth's he doing that for?
Well, I don't know, Marshall. I tried to get him to come with me back to town. I happened to be riding out there, taking a little swim, which I like to do. The waters of the Rio Grande are actually quite refreshing this time of year. You would think that, well, that the Wounded Knight would make the whole area rather unpleasant. And there's also, of course, the alleged ghost ship. But I really quite like going down there and taking a dip, all things considered. It's lovely, refreshing. Do you get out there very often?
Lloyd, I don't have time to chat with you about your leisure activities. What's this business about Wainwright?
Oh, Deputy Wainwright. Right. Well, so I saw Deputy Wainwright. Well, I saw someone cowering behind some rocks, a little old lean-to. And I saw that it was him. And he pulled his gun on me. Told me
Oh, good heavens.
to get away. And he looked really spooked. And well, at the end of the day, I don't really care much for Deputy Wainwright, Marshall. And so I left him there. Figured it was something that you and Travis could take care of.
Good heavens. Travis, coax Wainwright out of his hole and then meet me on the path towards the wherever the folks would have gotten on down the road. It should be obvious enough with enough of them traveling. I'll get Clarkson, meet you out there. Lloyd, go with Travis.
Sure, Wyatt, I'll do that.
So Travis is going to go get Wainwright. Is that the plan?
Yep.
Wyatt, what are you going to do? You still looking for Clarkson?
I'm still looking for Clarkson.
Okay, good. So now Travis has something to go do. Wyatt, you've got a thing to go do. Sister Mary and Slade, you might actually run into Travis on the way out of town, so we can just pick up with that.
And I think I will be using my my pale horse for this trip.
I forgot its name was Horse.
Its name is Horse.
Well, Slade will call it horse. The horse.
I love it.
His horse.
I'm a horse whisperer that named my horse Horse.
So good.
This is my horse. Horse.
Well, Mr. Slade, this is quite the unusual horse. I don't think I've ever seen you with this one before. What's its name?
It has no name.
Oh, very mysterious.
Let's do a paint
It
the
is my
scene.
horse.
Let's do a paint the scene. Even if your characters don't know, as players, how do we know that this horse is from the realm of the dead?
A little bit, almost imperceptible amount of steam comes out of its nostril holes.
Just shows no interest at all in like grazing on grass or shrubs as a normal horse would when it's idle.
Just because you have a blank look at the feedback, like.
It's got very decidedly cloven feet.
And I think its cloven footsteps fade after about 10 feet.
I love it. Sorry, we can keep going with the scene.
I must say, it's nice to see you with horses again. It's you always seemed so much happier when you were ranching, and I don't really see you. Well, you don't seem to be spending as much time with horses these days.
No, they are less interesting than they used to be.
You know, Mr. Slade, some people lose interest in things in their lives, but it can come back. Just have faith. Just say your prayers, have faith in God, put on a big smile. That's how you beat those blues.
I appreciate the advice, but no.
Well, suppose we should be on our way, visit this strange ghost boat or whatever it is.
Yes.
Oh, did we lose Rob? I think we lost
We
Rob.
lost Rob.
Let's just pause for a moment while we wait for him to come back.
Yeah, it seems to be back now.
Yeah, Travis, so the three of you are heading out. Travis, you actually have a mission, which is to go retrieve Deputy Wainwright from the lean-to he's hiding in right now, and by the river. Lloyd will give you a basic general direction of where to find it. Slade and Sister Mary, are you going with Travis to go pick up Deputy Wainwright first?
Yeah, I think so.
Sure. Yeah.
Is it kind of on the way to where the boat is thought to be?
Well, I mean, it's on the river, so it might be in the wrong direction, but nevertheless, it's not going to be like dramatically so.
You're saying that Deputy Wainwright is cowering behind some rocks. I suppose we should probably go check on him.
It's what Lloyd said. I don't know.
Then we go.
Is it actually Deputy Wainwright? Is he actually there being a big
We'll find out.
coward?
Yeah, we'll find out. Wyatt, where are you going to go search for Jebediah Clarkson at?
I'm looking for his wagon. I think we've
You know the
identified
wagon
that
is,
it parks near a warehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just go there and knock on the door and shout at the wagon, you know, and if he's not around there, I'll knock on the warehouse door.
I think when you get there to the wagon, you're approached by a woman who you know. Her name is Clarice Dovers. She's an older woman with gray and black hair. She's wearing sweaty work clothes, and her hands are kind of stained green. But as soon as she sees you looking at her hands, she puts her hands in her pockets really quickly. And she says, "Oh, hey, Marshall. Dr. Clarkson's not around right now. I don't know where he gets up to in the day, to be honest."
Really? It's a small enough town. You think he'd show up? You know anything about him, Clarice?
About Dr. Clarkson? Well, yes, I do. Dr. Clarkson is an amazing man, Marshall. I've actually worked with him for a number of years, not in recent times, mind you, but in the past I have. You know, we've gone all sorts of places. I used to be quite the world traveler before I ended up in El Paso, you know. We went
You don't say.
Oh, yes. China. We went to China and India and Nepal and the very top of the Himalayas. Can you believe that?
You know, I don't have a very good imagination.
Do you know we've traveled to no fewer than 5 countries in South America? Brazil, Peru, Portugal.
Portugal. You don't say.
Yeah. There's no place too far for Dr. Clarkson or me. He'd go to the very bottom of the ocean if he thought it would help his patients.
So you're saying you've known him for a long time. What exactly is it that you do for him?
Oh, well, I help him with the Ghosts Be Gone, you know, mixing and brewing and distilling.
Been making that for a number of years now?
Well, it's this is a fairly new development for Dr. Clarkson, Marshall. Works real good.
Yeah, that's so I gather. I think half the town's bought up this stuff, and ain't nobody told me exactly what's in it or how it works.
Well, Marshall, there is such a thing as, you know, patent pending. We can't just tell you our secrets. I mean, there's commercial considerations here. I mean, yes, we are helping people, But how can we help people if we don't help ourselves?
Sounds a mite greedy to me, but I think there might be a more simple explanation for exactly what's going on with Mr. Clarkson. Now, despite his perhaps grand traveling to South America and Portugal and wherever else, it's possible, Clarice, that he's deceiving you, that he's what we might think of as a bit of a snake oil salesman.
Oh, well, he doesn't deal with any snake oil, Marshall. I would know. I can't stand snakes. Can you even get oil out of snakes?
That's a good question, but I think you're missing my meaning. He's selling a bit of rubbish, all painted up pretty. Something that doesn't work.
How do you know it doesn't work, Marshall?
I strongly suspect it does not work, and I fear I may all too soon find out for sure it does not work. In the meantime, I'd like to have a conversation with him about it, or perhaps you could tell me how it works.
Make a information move.
Okay.
It's probably presence. Yeah, I'd say presence.
Okay. 7.
She says, we'll come back to that. Let's cut over to the other group. Travis, you are challenged as the three of you approach the lean-to by this like outcropping of rocks near the river. Somebody in the little building says, it's probably Dudley Wainwright, says, "Now you just stay right there. Don't you come no closer. I'm going to shoot."
Wainwright, is that you?
And you see there's like a little window. You see him like rise up and look out the window. He's like, "Maybe."
Dang it. I got all kinds of business to attend to. I can't be abiding by your nonsense now. What is going on here?
He's like, "Travis, is that you?"
Yes, Dudley, it's me.
"You may approach."
Travis mutters under his breath and turns to Sister Marion Slade. Yeah, maybe you two just hold back here for a moment. I'll see what's going on. See what full notion he's got in his head now.
Now, Travis, you should be approaching this situation with love and kindness in your heart. Clearly,
Well,
Deputy Wainwright is having some problems.
I don't intend to draw on him if that's what you're suggesting.
Well, sometimes I wonder about you.
Well, that hurts me deep, Sister Mary.
Yes, I'm sure it does. Now, go help Mr. Wainwright.
If you
Yeah,
approach,
Yeah.
he'll
Still,
kind of he'll open the little door by the lean-to, and he'll say, "Hurry up, get in."
Dudley, now, you best just explain to me what's going on.
"Travis, there is something strange going on this river."
Well, I know that.
Have you been down to the Memphis yet?
I was on my way there, but I got way late to come look for you.
Well, when you do, I suspect you are going to see a scene of unimaginable carnage. Death like has not been seen in this area for many years.
You best tell me what happened right now.
Bodies piled high. The Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper doing his dark business on the people of El Paso. But that's not even the scary part. I ran, Travis. I am very ashamed to admit this, but I will admit it to you. I am a coward.
Hold on now. What was he running from?
Well, it was the ship. The ship started shooting on us. And I'll tell you one thing, it didn't care. It didn't care nothing for those bottles of Ghost Be Gone.
Dudley, you need to be mindful that you are still a deputy. And it's our responsibility to deal with this situation.
But Travis, you're not listening to me. The ship is not even the whole thing. I ran and I saw a train. The train was on the Rio Grande, on the water, like the river was a track.
What are you talking about here?
There was a train on the water. And as it went by, it made the most terrible howling sounds. That's an approximation.
Well, geez, Dudley, I don't know what to make of this, but seems to me I best take Sister Mary and Mr. Slade and get on down there and see what in the heck is going on.
Travis, you promised me you won't tell your brother that I hid here like a coward.
Well, he already heard the story. He just don't know why he did it. But if there was some ghost ship firing on people and a train riding along the river, then I don't think he's going to blame you for being scared.
That's a good point, Travis. Anybody would have reacted like that, right?
Well, I don't know about anybody.
Travis, I want to tell you something. My second confession of the day. When I was a younger man, around these parts, I was considered something of a tower of virility.
Lloyd, is this got something to do with what's going on? Because
I'm a broken man, Travis. And it's the Wounded Knight that did it.
Jeez, Lloyd, I think you best make an appointment to speak to Sister Mary later on. I don't got time. I don't know that I'm the right person to come to with this information.
Nevertheless, I thank you. I thank you for your shoulder to cry on and your open heart.
Lloyd, I need to go see about this Memphis ship and this train, what you seen. Now,
It's Dudley, not Lloyd.
sorry, yeah. I'm sorry about what happened to you, but I can't be dealing with it right now. I got Marshall's business to attend to.
Speaking of, Wyatt, let's give you a clue real quick. Let's take a look here. I better take a look at the clues we've already got, actually. A ghost be gone. You don't have too many, actually. Just a bottle with some left in it and the red onion skin mash. Okay. I think your clue actually comes not from Clarice, who is actually fairly loyal to Dr. Clarkson, but instead it's one of the rurals. One of the rurals who are in town. It's not Benito, the commander. It's Esteban. Esteban comes up and says, Marshal, did I overhear some conversation about a Dr. Clarkson?
Yes, you wouldn't happen to know where he is.
Well, as you know, we are here looking for the so-called rebel gold that, of course, belongs on the other side of the river. But in fact, we have a bit of a line on A1 Dr. Clarkson, who escaped from El Paso del Norte a number of weeks ago after selling a tonic that made a lot of people sick. I'm surprised that he didn't go much further than this. Maybe he thought the cursed river would protect him from us. Clarice says, that's a lie and a slander.
I reckon it's probably all too true, Clarice, but we'll get to the bottom of this one way or another. You wouldn't happen to have been in El Paso del Norte recently, Clarice, were you?
And she kind of she says, well, let's see. We went to China, India, Nepal. There was all those countries in South America. You know, it's so hard to keep up with all of it, Marshall.
Uh-huh. All right, Esteban. Let's go find this fella.
He says, I tell you what, Marshall, and this is the complication. Since we're here, and since you're so understaffed, we'll take control of this Dr. Clarkson situation. We'll let you know how it's going.
What, you gonna extradite him back to Mexico?
I don't know if we have time for all of that, Marshal. Commander Diaz tends to just do whatever it takes to get the job done. This, of course, is just a bonus for after we find the gold, but, well, I have to say, we've been talking to some of the people here in town, and I can't say everyone's been too impressed with your ability to maintain law and order. No offense. We're happy to help out.
I understand your willingness to help, and I surely do appreciate it. Let's do this as above board as we can, not spark off some kind of international incident with Mexican federals shooting somebody on American soil, if we can help it.
Clarice has slipped off by now, by this point.
Yeah, I imagine so.
And Esteban says, well, I'll tell Commander Diaz. Like I said, we're happy to handle this one, Marshal. And he kind of gives you a very patronizing clap on the shoulder.
Yeah, just kind of squint up at him and try and give him a little bit of a smile, but I'm like, come on.
Let's cut back to the rest of the group. Slade and Sister Mary, you actually see across the river a camp, a pretty big camp with quite a lot of people there. It's maybe an eighth of a mile away. What do you do?
Slade will start going for the camp.
Mr. Slade, where are you going?
To speak to those people.
We don't even know who they are.
There is only one way to find out.
Goodness. I think Sister Mary's going to kind of look back to see what Travis is doing, if he's still dealing with Deputy Wainwright, and then just follow Slade.
I think you look back and you just hear, like, from the lean-to, I'm a coward, Travis, a coward.
Oh, well, goodness. I'll come with you.
If you wish.
As you head down there, are you making an attempt to be sneaky, or are you just walking right up?
Just walking right up.
A woman on a horse wades across the river at a narrow part. And you recognize her now, Sister Mary. It's the woman Felina that Edward was with under the table.
Ah, my old table mate.
She says, Sister Mary and companion, what brings you out here to our camp?
What brings your camp out here?
Oh, we're just out here doing a little bit of spiritual revival.
Spiritual revival. Are you responsible for this ghost boat situation?
No, can't lay any claim to that. She gets down off her horse and she wears I would say it's a very, like, it stands out. She wears this, like, form-fitting black leather situation, her raven hair kind of spilling down over her shoulder. She'd be very beautiful. She is beautiful, but she's got, like, prominent scar across her cheek. She's been through some stuff. She says, yeah, we're just here telling ghost fires around the camp story. Or no, that's wrong. Ghost stories around the campfire. We're just here telling ghost stories around the campfire and, getting in touch with the spirit.
That's fairly dangerous, and you do know about the Wounded Knight, right?
The wounded what?
Oh, don't play coy with me.
She says, unfortunately, the leader of our little band is not here. He tends to not be around too often in the day. Don't know where he gets off to.
And who is that?
That would be the good Sergeant Hammett. Do you know Sergeant Hammett?
Not yet.
Well, Sergeant Hammett and his men will be back later tonight. Me and my men, we're here now. You want to come and have a drink?
Looking at the camp, can we get a sense of what they're actually doing here? Like, are they?
Yes, they are polishing weapons. They are making bullets. They are doing all that business.
I'm not really sure how effective those weapons are going to be against spiritual things.
Probably not helpful at all. But
So instead they are for...
she smiles. It's not too late for me to put on a tin of coffee if you want, Sister Mary, or maybe could have the camp cook fry up some eggs. You look a little hungry and parched.
I'm sorry, it was Felina, is it?
Felina.
Miss Felina, this. Well, I'm sure you can understand that this does seem a little bit threatening.
Does it?
A group of, well, misfits from the looks of it. And
Sister Mary, I suspect these good folk here would take great offense to that sort of characterization.
yes, I'm sure they would. Just kind of eyeing the guns.
She says, strange horse you got there, friend.
Yes.
She's like holding up a palm full of like seed, and it's just like looking at it. It's not even like making a attempt to eat.
I love horse. Oh, Mr. Slade, this is Felina. Felina, Mr. Slade. I'm not sure if you've already met.
Does your encampment have any interest in the Memphis ship?
She stretches. Oh. Mm. To answer your question, no. But I have a feeling that the Memphis has an interest in you.
Then it is mutual. Sister Mary?
Mr. Slade, I do believe that we should inform our friend Deputy Walker about this little camp of Felina's. Unless, of course, you're planning on leaving the area soon.
Well, it's Sergeant Hammett's camp. I'm just a lowly lieutenant, Sister Mary.
And he is the sergeant with which soldier troop? Sorry, I don't know anything about wars and
I think
soldiers.
it's just a nickname sort of thing, Sister Mary.
So no real jurisdiction.
Is that really something we concern ourselves with out here as a general matter?
I'm just wondering, who tells this group of people what to do? Who's the leader? And what are they leading them to?
I tell you what, we'll stop by tomorrow night and give you all the information you need. And she turns and goes back around across the river.
I believe we should prevent them from giving us the information we need.
Yes, I don't imagine she's actually intending to give us information. There's a lot of weapons in that camp. Maybe we should nip this one in the bud.
Yes, I agree.
Let
How?
us, sorry. I'm gonna wrap the day phase there. Let's go to dusk and then we'll take a break. Do we have any dusk playbook moves? Let's do a paint the scene about El Paso. We're gonna pull up that document. Give me 1 second. All right, so let's see what we've done so far. Holiday wards, the aged, campfire tales, silent infants, agriculture, and children. Okay. That's a good one. Tensions in El Paso. During the season of the Wounded Knight, everyone in El Paso is wound tighter than a drunk's pocket watch. What remains of a reckless act are cleaned up, repaired, or apologized for in the morning after a wild night of letting loose.
Lloyd is standing on someone's front porch with his hat in his hand, explaining a bit of frivolity that went a little too far. And as the camera pans out, you can see a partially constructed small windmill on top of the residence with bullet holes in the blades.
Everyone's got one of those damn windmills now.
One of the blacksmith assistants is out in one of the pastures trying to round up all of the sheep that he let loose last night. And he's not having a good go of it. He's not a very good sheep herder.
One of the tavern owners is out on the duck boards sweeping up the remains of the window that was smashed outward by, it's probably somebody flying through it in the course of an altercation.
There's a small group of youths trying to rake and sweep up a bunch of broken bottles as the doctor stands where you can still see some glass embedded in the side of his house from a party that got too rowdy.
What is everyone doing tonight? Slade, Sister Mary, and Travis, you can proceed to the Memphis, but you'll be doing so at nighttime.
I don't think Travis has another choice. I'm not going to speak for the others.
I think we need to do something, if nothing else, to meet Sergeant Hammett.
Yeah. I also want to do the Memphis stuff, though. It's hard to decide.
Well, we know the Memphis shoots.
That's what I'm
Ghost.
thinking. Can we get the Memphis to attack the camp?
So no, because Memphis is further away.
Yeah.
Like El Paso's between the camp and the Memphis. So
Gotcha. I think I'm still gonna go and check out the Memphis.
Travis and Sister Mary to the Memphis. Slade.
Yeah, I think he'll have to go with the Memphis then if everyone else is.
And Wyatt, what are you gonna do today or tonight?
I think I'm laying low, waiting for Clarkson to open his wagon again.
Sounds good. Do we have any unresolved Janus masks right now? All right, in that case, let's do the unseen. And let's take a look at our tab here. Let's do the last right. That is that's the last one before Ghost Be Gone. Reverend Mathis sits quietly next to the wheezing, pale form of Joe Thompson, the copper miner. On the other side of the drawn blanket curtain separating the one-room house, he can hear the hushed tones of Mrs. Thompson, stilling the fears of the little ones and trying to get them to sleep. There would be one less Thompson in the house by the morning, Doc had said. Amanda, you can have prompt 1. Rob, prompt 2. David, prompt 3. And Ben prompt 4. Let's take 5. Night phase. The last right. Amanda, what is taking Joe Thompson's life tonight, and how is it related to the almost spent copper mine outside of town?
Joe is just a standard laborer at the copper mine, doing the heavy work. The copper mine is an open mine, so it's like a big pit, and the carts go around down, sort of like in a spiral. He was bringing a cart up out of the mine filled with the new copper ore that he had just mined, and well, he was tired, long day, not a union, so things can go a little wrong, and it was a freak accident. There was a cart that the cart he was driving, the wheel came off and it fell. He fell. The cart fell on him, and crushing injuries are, well, crush syndrome is very horrible way to die. Unfortunately, there's nothing anyone can do to save his life. It's just a matter of waiting it out now. Yeah.
Thank you. Wyatt, you are lying in wait. Are you lying in wait near the wagon, assuming that he will have to go to the wagon at some point? Did you hear me?
Yes. Sorry. I think I'm kind of having some connectivity issues. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Fine. I'll repeat what I said. Are you lying in wait near the wagon in case he comes to the wagon? Is that the idea?
Yeah, I
Before
think
you
I'm just
answer,
wearing.
I have an important question.
Yeah.
Did Slade's move get triggered by the corset revealing his true nature?
Which move is that?
Death's gloaming gaze.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a really good point. We should probably talk about that. So Death's gloaming gaze, you have the ability, once you reveal yourself, to give the person you've revealed your secret to the ability of Death's gloaming gaze during this night phase, so long as Wyatt is willing to take photosensitive or melancholy to do it. But boy, that would be a great way of finding Dr. Clarkson, especially if he's like, if he thinks the heat is on, he's hiding right now.
Yeah, what's the benefit?
You get to
You
see
can see in the
perfectly
dark.
in pitch blackness, and your composure and vitality scores are increased by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
that means you know that what Slade is.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that's why I've been avoiding him. I think I've avoided him since the incident.
Yeah, that's good. Well, then I have to pose the question, how does it feel to be looking through Slade's eyes right now? What is that like?
I think to have the dark eyes doesn't feel terribly different, but when the night comes, it's as if you can see in a different way, in a more clear way than you could even in the daytime. But it's not like seeing in the daytime. Things glow red from sometimes, don't really know why, but everything is very clear, and it's kind of a mauve color.
I like it. Well, I will tell you then, when you reach the warehouse and the wagon, the warehouse front door is open, but it's pitch black in there. But you can see someone standing near the entrance inside the warehouse. And they are just standing stone still, looking out onto the street. What do you do?
I draw my revolver and point it straight at them. And I cock the hammer so it makes a noise they can hear in case they can't see me.
There's
Come
no
on out now.
need for that, Marshal. No need for that at all.
I'll put it back in the holster.
Let's cut over to the others. So Sister Mary and Travis are going to the Memphis. Slade, did you say you were too, or are you doing something different?
No, Slade's going with.
Okay, good. You start to see the bodies. Deputy Wainwright wasn't wrong about that. One of the bodies was someone you recognize right away. It's the watchman, Harry Etheridge, the one whose Sister Mary was chatting up for a bit. He somehow got roped out into this group. He didn't even bother to get his ghost beacon out of his coat, like some of the other dead people who are clutching it even as they lay there dead. But they have been not blown to smithereens or dismembered or anything like that. They look like someone has stuck a straw in them and sucked everything out, leaving them shriveled in their clothing. And all around the bodies are cactuses that crumble away to dust. And desert gophers or something that are emaciated and skeletal. I'd like for Sister Mary and Travis to make the night move. What do you afraid is going to happen right now if you lose your nerve?
I think Travis is afraid he'll be overwhelmed with the guilt of having caused the deaths of all these people.
And I think it's worse than that. It's worse than that. I think the lady in gold will come and collect your guns.
Sister Mary is, because of her experiences during the war, I think she is worried that she'll have a panic attack.
And it's worse than that. You will run in the exact wrong direction. Both of you roll composure, please.
Ten.
Travis keeping it together.
2.
2. Slade, how do you feel about this? You see all this stuff going on.
A normal person would recognize it as anger. He just finds himself a little uncomfortable, and this is a terrible waste.
I will tell you that per the rules of Ghost Be Gone threat, the fact that Harry Etheridge is found dead, not using the Ghost Be Gone defensively, is a clue for the threat. If somebody wants to note that. Sister Mary, we'll get to you in a moment. But everyone, you'll see just down the way on the river, the large, faintly green glowing ship gliding across the waters. Rob, the last rite. The Reverend shivers, stands, and, almost without thought, quietly crosses the room to put another log on the fire. What item on the mantle catches the Reverend's attention, and what does it make the Reverend think about Joe's untimely end?
He sees a small, well-thumbed and quite dirty pocket Bible. So something that perhaps, it's like someone's been reading it with really dirty hands. So it's possible that it was something that Joe took into the mine with him, maybe consulted at times when he was feeling the pressure of his environment, or maybe he read it on the way up and down the mine shaft. Who knows? And it makes the Reverend wonder what was going through Joe's mind when he had this accident that crushed him, and did he make peace with the Lord before it happened?
Do you know who I am, Marshall Walker?
Mr. Reynolds, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yes, that's right. I'm actually an old acquaintance of the old Marshal.
You don't say.
Yes. I had the chance to come through here about 12 years ago. I was engaged in some unpleasant business. My horse threw a shoe. And so I stole one from outside a saloon in El Paso. But they caught me. Do you know what the old Marshal did with horse thieves?
I know what he ought to done. But I reckon you wouldn't be standing here if that were the case. Leastwise.
He steps just enough into the light to show you the terrible, terrible scars on his neck. Clearly the scars from hanging. Make a night move. What do you afraid is going to happen if you lose your nerve?
That I'll run and drop the old Marshal's gun.
It's worse than that. If he gets the chance, he'll kill you with it. Roll with composure for now. At disadvantage, though, because of your condition.
I'll put the Lemmat revolver in to make it an even roll.
Okay.
10.
Nice.
Wait, it's what was the stat?
Composure.
It's 10 on the dice, so 12.
12. You get a bonus as well. We'll take care of the bonus. We'll come back to this. Sister Mary, what does your freak out look like?
It is quiet. It is quiet, more like a internal, rather than like an explosion. It's like an implosion of panic, and she just lets out a long breath and runs.
Towards the ship. Sister Mary has crossed some sort of threshold, Travis and Slade, because the ship begins firing its cannons. There is a noise, a wailing noise that the cannon fire makes, and it streaks in the sky, glowing green. And these spectral shells, it looks like they are going to explode and make a credible noise, but they don't. They land perfectly quietly. But when they land, they explode into a sirocco of green fire and they kill everything caught in it. Just drain it down to the bone. And Sister Mary's running into the middle of this, of the cannons firing. Unless Sister Mary is marking the Janus mask.
I'm going to mark a Janus mask.
Travis, please instead describe how you pull Sister Mary away from the threshold.
Yeah, I think Travis is pale, looking around at all this destruction and feeling that it's his fault. And as Sister Mary is about to spur her horse toward the boat, he just calls out to her softly, "Sister." And she turns toward him. And he says, "I think this is all my fault." And I think that's just kind of enough to snap her out of it, that he's calling on her for help.
I like it. Sister Mary, how does that make you feel?
Guilty. Makes me feel guilty too, because if I was a better spiritual advisor to Travis, then this wouldn't have happened.
Take the condition guilty. Slade, while they're having their moment, what are you doing?
I want to say listening and staring hard at Travis, but also he's going to take his, while riding his horse, move into the mass of people and see, did any of them use the Ghost Begone in any way? Were they bathed in it?
Make information move with reason. Yeah.
That's 11.
Nice. Good. We'll come back to that. Wyatt, just describe how you keep it together here.
I've got the gun back out of its holster again as he's coming out and showing me these scars. And my hands give a tiny shake until I draw that hammer back, and then they're rock steady.
Nice.
You don't frighten me, Mr. Reynolds. I don't
Good.
care if you are a creature of the wounded knight. I've dealt with worse.
I love it. Slade, your clue. One of the clutched Ghost Begone bottles the label has peeled up and there's a different label underneath it. You can add what it is, like whenever you get ready to answer a question, you can put the context in there, but that's the clue. But another thing too, you hear someone among the dead groaning. Let's go back to the last rite. David, Joe's breathing is slower now, more labored. Reverend Mathis continues to pray softly, hoping his prayers bring some comfort to the dying man. What event in Reverend Mathis's past means he never leaves a parishioner to pass away alone?
Reverend Mathis doesn't believe in the strict need for last rites. He believes that the grace is sufficient to cover. But he has had parishioners who thought differently. More specifically, parishioners' families who thought differently. And on one occasion, he was not around when a parishioner passed away, and the family was taken in by a charlatan selling indulgences, and Reverend Mathis has never forgiven himself.
I love it. Wyatt Walker, you hear a woman's voice behind you. You are flanked by these two people now. It's Isabella Edwards. She says, "No, Mr. Walker, I know you don't scare easily. The leader of this town, of the Vigilance Committee, certainly wouldn't. I'm going to make a proposition to you now, Mr. Walker, a proposition rooted in what is no doubt your very deep desire to protect this town. I hold in my hand a piece of paper with a list of names on it. These people are of great interest to my husband and I. Gather them for us. Let us take them out of here and do as we will. And we will leave El Paso alone." And she puts the piece of paper in your hand.
What are you going to do if I don't?
You don't want to know that, Marshal. I fear it would cause you to turn tail and run again. Meanwhile, Sister Mary, Travis, Slade, there are several people among the dead, about maybe 100 yards away. You hear them like, what do you do?
Run toward them. See if we can help them.
Yep.
Slade, Travis, same thing?
Yep.
Yes.
As soon as you get within range, they all flip up. One of them is Felina. They all have their guns trained on you. She says, "Gotcha." And they open fire. Let's go to our last stop at the last rite. Ben, the silence wakes the Reverend from his near doze. The bed is quiet. Joe is gone. Reverend Mathis was there for Joe until the end. Now it's time to be there for the rest of his family. Briefly describe the funeral plans Mrs. Thompson has already put together for Joe.
Before some circumstances on the job forced him into the mining life, Joe had actually been a member of the Texas Rangers. And knowing that Joe is gone, she sends her youngest to run around town and find Joe's old ranger friends so that they can perform the 21 gun salute that she had always intended for his funeral.
Speaking of guns, we'll come back to that in a moment. Wyatt, the Reynoldses take each other arm in arm. Think on it, Marshall. I'm sure there's a perfectly appropriate saying for this moment. Something about better parts of valor, that sort of thing. What is 6 small animals to save the whole flock? The whole herd.
I think a good shepherd would say that's unacceptable.
Well, you mosey on off to your pasture and think about it, Marshall. And they leave. Meanwhile, guns ablazing, you have been caught. Travis, you're okay because you're always okay when it comes to things like this. Sister Marion Slade, what are you doing?
Are they shooting?
Yeah, they just like popped up and began shooting.
I'm gonna drop to the ground.
Slade, what are you gonna do?
Slade is going to hop off the horse and position it between him and the others. Hey, him and the gunfire.
Oh, interesting. So you're gonna use the horse as a shield.
Yeah.
Poor horse.
Poor horse.
It is immortal and cannot be harmed or spooked.
True. Yeah. Are you want to pull Sister Mary behind you too? That could be a good scene, actually.
Yeah.
I like that. We'll have you do the role. But I think you might have to have a conversation with Sister Mary when she sees your horse doesn't take any damage. So you're kind of exposing yourself if you're okay with that.
Yep. Let's do it.
Travis, you get to kill one. What do you do? Who do you choose?
I guess whichever one looks most threatening to Sister Mary, I think.
Oh, it's almost certainly Felina. She's had a bone to pick with her for a while. You can kill her.
Yeah. I think Travis kind of relishes that he knows what to do for a change.
Is it salvation or damnation?
It's got to be damnation, I think.
Per the move. Those blasted guns. Actually, no. Well, actually, this is really only for that cursed mission, but I still like it. I'd like for you to describe whether or how it's horrible, hellish detail.
Yeah, I think she starts shooting. She maybe gets one inaccurate shot off before Travis's gun clears the holster. And I think he draws both, in fact, because he's kind of brandishing them and, maybe firing warning shots at some of the others, but with his left hand holding damnation, he just aims straight at her and fires once. And I think the bullet hits her in the jaw and, just buckles the jawbone so that as it ricochets up into her head, it's almost like it rips half the lower part of her face off, and it's just, you know, the most gruesome, disfiguring injury. It's not slow, unlike previous times he's used damnation, but you know, for anyone clearing up that body, it's a horrifying thing to have to look at.
Go ahead and write how the gun changes. Slade, I just want just a night move here. What do you afraid is going to happen if you fail?
I won't be fast enough to stop Sister Mary from getting hit.
Yeah, it's worse than that. I think Sister Mary might die. We'll see if Amanda's okay with that, being put in danger like that. Figured you would be. And you got that twisted ankle, which is not great.
It's true.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll with disadvantage with vitality. If you have a item, or if you can mark the horse, it might be worth doing.
That's 12.
Oh wow. Okay. Good job. Did you roll 3 6s? How'd you get 12?
6, 5, and 6 with +1 vitality from night.
From Gloaming Gaze, that's right. Yeah. Congratulations. You will get a bonus as well. I think the bonus is going to be you will be able to convince one of the, so basically they're going to flee after they realize they're not killing you and after they see Felina get her face shot off. I'll let you catch one of them as a bonus.
That sounds good.
But give it the scene though. What does it look like?
When they spring up, I think Slade knows with his twisted ankle, he can only move fast enough to save one of them. And with a slight cut of his eyes toward Travis, he'll turn to Sister Mary and just grab her upper arm and tumble them both over the side of his horse. And just kind of shield her head with his hand and say, "Stay low."
What does the horse do? Does it react at all? Like, is it happen?
I imagine it'll whinny and kind of rear up on its back legs, but doesn't bleed, doesn't seem to take any true offense.
Travis, you can catch the one that's getting away. What does that look like?
Yeah, I think after disposing of Felina, he just strides swiftly, but almost, you know, almost unhurriedly. And you know, both the guns are out, and this guy's scrambling up, trying to scramble up the riverbank, and Travis just closes on him kind of inexorably and is behind him as he's trying to scramble his way clear, and just points the gun at the back of his head and just says, "Stop."
Make a note that you have one of the gang in custody. We'll deal with them next time. But for now, the night phase is concluded. Let's go to the dawn. I will point out that you currently have a little crazy on mastermind clues today. You're up to 12. So
plus 50% MM clues.
You got half more at one go. You know, felt dramatically appropriate. I will tell you that per the rules of the game, now that you have 10 or more mastermind clues, all threats are suspended. They are all inactive. There is now only one active threat It is called The Siege of El Paso. And we will do it next time. Let's continue on with the dawn phase. No rewards were collected today for or no threats were resolved, so no rewards. Let's do dawn questions. No one's getting the first two, but let's go to Echo in the Night. Sidewinder Kid, you get an Echo in the Night?
I was hoping to, if I got a chance to talk to Sister Mary, bring the Bible into it, but didn't get the opportunity. So no.
Did you test to see if your reputation is spreading without naming yourself? I really love that. I want you to do it at some point because I love it. It's such a good dawn question.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Like, it's such a good, like, theoretical scene. Like,
Yeah, I think I only really ever got to do it once, and it was yeah.
Did you get into a fight with your sibling?
No.
You're getting no XP today, Travis.
Nothing. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's okay. I hope you had fun. Let's go to Sister Mary. Sister Mary, did you get an Echo in the Night?
No.
All right. Did you convince someone to do the right thing?
You know, I was trying to go for it a little bit with Felina, but I don't think it went there, so I don't think I get that one.
Did you speak on matters of theology with anyone who would listen?
Yeah.
Yeah, got that one. Right, we got somebody in the 1 XP club. Slade,
Yay.
did you get an Echo in the Night?
The 21 gun salute.
Oh yeah. That's a good one, actually. Did you punish a wayward soul by sending it back to the spirit realm?
Not yet.
Did you express a clear preference for the night over the day?
Didn't get to.
Let's go to Marshall Walker. Echo in the Night?
I was trying to set it up with the charlatan selling indulgences. I don't know if we got there.
I don't think we got there. No, I was too. I had too much stuff to do tonight. Let's go to. Did you come up with a rational explanation before accepting the supernatural truth? Oh yeah, I think you did with Edward actually.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. Did you abuse your badge to gain the upper hand?
I don't know. It was pretty. I don't know. I wasn't like super aggressive. I was kind of aggressive in questioning Clarice.
Oh yeah,
but I don't know.
It's on the line for me. I don't know if you abused it though. I think you were just doing your job.
Yeah.
All right, so 3 XPs were had all session. It was a shorter session, to be fair, because we had to do a dawn. Or we had to start with the dawn. Okay. You can mark new dawn questions if you wish. Playbooks and custom moves. I think that's just the Sidewinder Kid. Did you yeah, you did. You did what the Marshal wanted you to do, so you're good to go there.
Yep.
And do we have any Janus Mask?
I have one.
Go for it.
Narrate a flashback to the moment when you lost your faith on the battlefield. This is later in the day of the same battle that we had witnessed earlier. There's blood and bodies everywhere of from both sides. There's cries from people in pain and screams of agony, and Sister Mary is it's right now it's a moment of quiet. You know, there's no guns shooting. So she is taking the opportunity to pick through the bodies and give last rites where she can. And the young men are the ones that are dying but won't be able to be saved, are begging for her to end them. And she's looking down at one particularly young man, very young. He must have lied to get into the army, lied about his age. And his face is torn up. One of his arms is blown off. There's just sinew and blood seeping from him. And she's looking down at this child who has put himself, you know, in this position. She can't even tell what color his uniform is. It's so bloodied. and it doesn't really matter. He looks up at her and he can barely talk. He's in so much pain. And she kneels down next to him, gives him a blessing, and puts her hand over his face to finish the job, so to speak, so that he doesn't have to suffer anymore. And she looks around to see who's next.
Nice. I love it. Thank you. Any other Janus mask? Okay. That was a fast and fiery session. Let's do...
Fiery, because firing of guns.
Yeah. Let's do cannon fire also. Stars and Wishes. Stars and Wishes. I really enjoyed this session. Star for me was the I really love the Reynoldses, the gang, all that stuff. It's really fun to play with. It's interesting because like in the regular between, the mastermind is essentially kind of one person. They have servants and they have like things they can do, but they are they can stay lost as much as they need to in the city. They can be as distant as they want to be, and that's actually preferable. You don't want them to ever be too involved. But because of the kind of like tight-knit nature of this setting, and in particular because this mastermind has so many like people involved in it, it makes it for a really interesting dynamic. And I like how it's been like, it's almost like the Reynoldses are like just like, they're almost like they're just spreading and clinging into the town, and anchoring into the town in a really interesting way. I also like this dynamic with the rurales that's developing. I think that's really interesting because they're still in town. We also have the Skaggs brothers who might be involved, and so there's a lot like kind of, it feels very powder keg right now in El Paso, and I'm digging that a lot. So yeah, I like that quite a lot. I enjoyed seeing well, the scene with Deputy Wainwright and Travis was really fun. That was a pleasure to play. And what else? The vulnerable move scene was really good between Sister Mary and Slade. Yeah, and Wyatt and the Reynolds is just a lot of good RP all around. It was really fun.
Yeah, this was like a really punchy session. Like, it feels like, in modern streaming shows, like they don't adhere to the, we must fill this many minutes of an episode. So, but like there'll be like a shorter episode before a mid-season finale, but it'll be like super punchy and like really setting up that mid-season finale. And this felt like so much like
That's
that.
what it felt like. Yep.
Yeah. And it was great. Like every scene had like so much purpose and was filled with so much stuff. And like you thought, we're starting out, we're just going to deal with the threats just like we normally do. But then it was like, no, you're not going to deal with the threats like you normally did. It's worse. You get out there and, oh man, oh shucks, that cowardly Dudley Wainwright, he's so scared. No, but he saw the train. And then, oh, we're just going to get that charlatan. We're finally going to get the jump on him. But no, it's the masterminds and they're here with demands. Yeah. All that was really good. We're going to investigate this ghost boat. No, you're going to get ambushed by Felina and her gang of outlaws. It was like, oh, that was so many good scenes. All of it was so good.
I'll point out, that was your last night phase to sort out the Rebel Gold too. So you've got the Siege of El Paso, and then you've got the fucking boat too. Like that's another problem. Like you've got like 2 hell night phases coming up, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I don't know what portion of the town is dead because
right. Yeah, a bunch of them got killed.
There.
Yeah, I know. So it's gonna be a mess.
It's a mess.
Yeah,
it's a mess. But the Vigilance Committee is here to try and stand in the gap. But yeah, it escalated over the past 2 sessions pretty severely. It's good though. I'm digging it. I'm really excited for the Siege of El Paso. I think we've probably set up like there's a good chance that this is where the Marshall story is coming to a conclusion. We'll see, but that probably
the masterminds making their appearance in that penultimate episode with Wyatt, it's almost like the harbingers, it's like,
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
short on masks too. He does not have many masks. If we didn't have good dive results today, yeah, he does not have many masks to play with.
all right. Stars and Wishes.
Yeah, I thought that was a lot of fun. Anytime Travis gets to be in a shootout is always a pleasure. And I did enjoy the confrontation with Dudley Wainwright, which was kind of bizarre. I it feels like this is building up to something climactic, which is exciting. I have some ideas about like how Travis and Wyatt's relationship may develop. And I think I'm really looking forward to a big wish is like, what Travis did with kind of getting all these people killed. It feels like there's a reckoning to be had with each of the other characters about that. That his guilt with Sister Mary, his kind of responsibility to Wyatt, and the fact that Slade is, presumably the one that ushered these people off. Yeah, so that's like a big wish, is like exploring some of that stuff.
Oh, that reminds me of a wish I had. I want to say it before I forget. I want the scene where Sister Mary is like, what's up with horse and you? Yeah, that has to happen. Because I think Sister Mary witnessed a miracle, and yeah,
I've been
unless
waiting for this.
you like, I mean, I could see a situation where you like convince yourself it's all part of Pius, right? Like,
Yeah.
like, oh, the Lord saved me again, that kind of thing. But, yeah.
Oh, I've been waiting for this, so I'm very excited about it. Yeah. Stars for I mean everything everybody else talked about, how punchy this was, and all the action was just so fun, and all the little twists and spins on things was wonderful. I also really liked the conversation between Wyatt and Edward. I thought that was just a really rewarding conversation. It just felt like yeah, I love this scene. I want to see these two battle it out. I really liked that a lot. My wishes, I'm so excited for the next two night phases. They're going to be just bonkers. I only have one more mask than David does, so also Sister Mary's running low too. And we know how I am with rolling, so we'll see how this goes. I'm very excited to see what happens next.
Indeed. Stars and Wishes.
This was, yeah, a lot of fun, really punchy. I liked how everything, it felt like, well, like a good TV show. Like nothing lingered, everything ended in a compelling way. And so stars have been called out, but seeing Edward Reynolds and that confrontation with Wyatt was great. The vulnerable scene with Sister Mary was fun. I enjoy seeing. I didn't push the theological disagreement there in a way that I wish I had, but so I look forward to seeing more of that, which I'm sure will come up. And yeah, Travis and the deputy was just a bit of levity. It was a good scene. A wish, well, not a wish. Star for Felina. She was cool. She didn't
She got a cool
deserve
death
what
too, at least.
she did have a cool death. But I was hoping to see what kind of trouble she would cause, but it's probably for the best that she won't get to. Looking forward to meeting Sergeant Hammett and seeing what our hostage has to say. This was good.
Yeah, we saw Sergeant Hammett in that one stinger. He was the one that they freed from the vault. Yeah, he's kind of their muscle. Stars and Wishes anymore?
I wrote a bit of an odd custom move, but I wanted to see what y'all thought about
Let's look
it.
at it. Let's read it out now. I gotta go find it. I didn't actually get a chance to do it yet.
I
let's
looked
read
at it. I love it. I think it's great.
Oh, the Walker Legacy. When you gain this move, take the condition trusted by the town. Okay. As a reaction, the keeper may clear this condition from you. Okay. Additionally, as a future reaction, the keeper may give you the condition mistrusted by the town. When the playbook is retired, ask the kid if they will try to take up your mantle. Oh, as Marshall. And then roll. Oh, I like it. It's good. The results are basically the kid can do an assemblage depending on how the roll goes. And depending on, and it kind of a Walker's legacy is implicated. Yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot. Yeah, good move. That'll be fun. Love it, love it, love it. And
cool, I'll put it down.
Yeah. Any more stars and wishes? A little stinger scene. Another wagon is rolling into town. Someone else getting ready to set up shop in El Paso. We shall meet that person next time. But for now, everyone wave goodbye.